Hello everyone, Johnny Thunder, EAS&Weather here with your Day 1 fire weather outlook. There's a critical fire weather area today covering West Central Florida. Hitting the critical fire weather area today include Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Cape Coral, Florida, Clearwater, Florida, and Spring Hill, Florida. There are two elevated fire weather areas today, one covering much of Florida and South Central Georgia, and a second elevated fire risk today covers eastern Arkansas, northwest Mississippi, western Tennessee, and extreme southeastern Missouri for the elevated. So, yeah, in synopsis, broad northwest flow aloft will encompass much of the northeast and mid-Atlantic in the wake of a departing upper trough. A dry air mass will remain in place across the eastern U.S., southeast, and deep south as surface high pressure shifts into the Atlantic. Farther west, a negatively tilted upper trough will surge into the western U.S., with dry and breezy conditions focused over the Great Basin ahead of an advancing cold front. Florida and southern Georgia. East and northeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour on the southern fringe of the surface high are expected today across portions of southern Georgia into Florida. Stronger sustained east winds at 50 miles per hour with higher gusts will be located farther south across the Florida peninsula, while drier conditions including relative humidity as low as 15% amid higher temperatures in the lower 80s will be displaced to the north over the Florida panhandle and southern Georgia. Critical fire weather conditions are expected across portions of central Florida and the West Florida coast, where sustained winds are likely to reach 50 miles per hour and relative humidity falls into the 25 to 35% range. Elevated fire weather concerns were extended into much of the Florida panhandle, where offshore trajectories will maintain a dry boundary layer through much of the afternoon. Fields remain very receptive amid worsening drought conditions with ongoing fire activity. Lower Mississippi Valley. A relative minimum in recent rainfall and existing dry fuels coupled with dry return flow on the western periphery of the broad surface high pressure moving off the mid-Atlantic will bring a fire weather threat to portions of western Tennessee, Mississippi, and eastern Arkansas. South to southwest winds of 10 to 15 miles per hour. South to southwest winds of 10 to 15 miles per hour amid relative humidity of 20 to 25% supports a continuation of elevated fire weather highlights across portions of the lower Mississippi River Valley. So, east central Wyoming. A limited fire weather threat will emerge across east central Wyoming with a weak downslope warming and drying regime in place across the central high plains. A shallow near-surface temperature inversion will quickly mix out under mostly sunny skies through the late morning hours, following possible poor relative humidity recoveries overnight in eastern Wyoming and Colorado. Relative humidity of 10% or below is likely by the afternoon across the central high plains. However, weak boundary layer flow and lack of substantial surface lead troughing across the region should limit spatial extent and duration of sustained west winds of up to 50 miles per hour across east central Wyoming, precluding introduction of elevated highlights. So, that's your Day 1 fire weather outlook. Stay safe and vigilant in these areas today. If I were you, I would gather supplies immediately, such as food, water, clothing, toiletries, medical supplies, a flashlight, a cell phone, phone chargers, extra batteries, and a battery powered radio in the event that you need to evacuate on a moment's notice, because fires can start and spread quickly. Please avoid outdoor burning in these areas today. Because one little spark is all it takes for a fire to start and spread quickly. Do not throw cigarettes on the ground. Even if they're not lit. Because one, that's littering, which is illegal and unsafe for the environment. And if you get caught littering, you can face a hefty fine. And also, one little spark is all it takes for a fire to start and spread quickly. And make sure your cigarette is fully out before you throw it away. So, stay safe in these areas today, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.